Welcome back. It's 2024. We made it through 23, and what a crazy year it was. We saw the highest interest rates that we have seen in 23 years, some of the lowest number of homes sold in almost 10 years. We saw the impact that Taylor Swift can have on a football team. We saw Chinese spy balloons going across our country. But the one thing that I know you're all here for is we still saw home prices rise 3.1% in 2023. Here in the Twin Cities market, there was a lot of folks that did not believe that home prices would go up. A lot of folks predicting that a crash was going to happen, but it didn't. And here we are in 2024. Now let's take a look at what we're going to see this year. All right, so let's start with taking a look at where we are today, just to give us a baseline for where we're starting, so we can look back in this video in about a year and hopefully all these predictions will be right. All right, so where are we at? Median sale price in the Twin Cities metro is $335,000. Now this is for all home types, condos, townhomes, and single family homes. Now that is up, as I mentioned earlier, 3.1%. Now month supply. This is something that we talk about very frequently because it is a good gauge about where we're at in the market, whether it's a buyer's market or seller's market. 5 to 6 months is a balanced market, and currently today in the Twin Cities market, we are at 1.2 months of inventory, meaning it is still a seller's market. Now, does it feel like a seller's market? Some places yes, some places no. Days on market, those have come up here a bit, and we're at 32 days. Now, if we want to look back at last December, 33 days. We had the COVID era where we were seeing, the max that we got up to was 21, but when we go back and look at 2019, we were at 32 days as well. So really, we're possibly getting back to a little bit more of a normal market. We'll see though. All right, now let's take a look at mortgage rates. Currently right now, mortgage rates as of today per the Freddie Mac weekly analysis, we're at 6.6%. Some lenders are quoting a bit above that, some are quoting a bit below that. But here in late October, early November, we hit almost 8%. There's a lot of folks that were actually over 8%. Those were the highest rates that we have seen in 23 years. People have short-term memories. These 3% interest rates, they're probably never going to come back. So if you're waiting for those, you're going to be waiting a long time. All right, so that is a good baseline of where we're at. So what do we expect to see here in 2024? Well, I will tell you, I expect these mortgage rates to stay higher for longer. Yes, the Fed has said that they're going to come out with 3 rate cuts this year, but that's yet to be seen. We have stronger than expected economic data, which, isn't pleasing Mr. Powell. And there is a high likelihood, in my opinion, that we're going to stay in this high interest rate environment for quite some time. And when we say high interest rates, the average interest rate throughout time is between 6 and 7%. So we're actually right at the average interest rate of where we should be. Is this high for some folks? Yes. If you bought in 2021, it feels high, but these are not that bad. Now, home prices. What do I expect to see here this year? Well, last year when we saw everybody predicting that the market, well, not everybody, a lot of folks were predicting that the market was going to crash in 2023 simply because of those rates going up. Well, this year, I am expecting to see a 4 to 5% appreciation here in the Twin Cities market. That's my prediction. I could be wrong without a doubt. But let me tell you why I think that. One of the number one reasons is also the reason why we didn't see a market crash last year, and it is simply due to low inventory. Now, why do we have low inventory? Well, there's really 3 major factors. One of those is the interest rates. So a lot of folks out there bought a home or refinanced their house over the past few years, and they are in a situation that we like to call rate lock. They're essentially stuck in their home at one of these mortgage rates. Now, let me show you actually a really interesting graph about that. This right here shows that about 90% of outstanding Fannie Mae 30-year loans have a rate below 6%. Now, if you look right here, 38% of them are between 3 and 4%. Those are really low interest rates. Then you got a few folks here, almost 20% of those are 3% or below. I am one of those folks. I own one of my rental properties at a 2.5% interest rate. I'm not selling. There's a lot of folks that are in the same position as I am. A lot of people would rather keep their home and turn it into investment property, because when you have an interest rate that low, that's worth its weight in gold. We're likely never get back to those numbers. So holding on to that property for as long as you can, turning it into investment for yourself, maybe pulling some of the equity out if you can, use that as a down payment. Lots of options there. So because of these rates, and very, very few people are up around this over 7%, that lock-in effect is what's keeping so many people in their homes and not allowing new homes to come to the market. Now, we've talked about this in past videos as well, and the number 2 reasons is we simply did not build enough homes over the past 10 years. Builders have slowed down dramatically since the great financial crisis. When all of that took place, a lot of builders got out of the market, and we just did not ever pick back up on the number of new construction homes that were being built. The number of new construction homes cannot eat up the demand that there is for home buyers in today's market. And now the number 3 reason why the market didn't crash and why we'll likely see some good appreciation this year is simply due to foreclosures. We're just not seeing the same number of foreclosures that we have even in the pre-pandemic type of era. So if you look at this actually just came out on January 11th, and it is showing the 2023 numbers, 357,062 foreclosures in 2023. Yes, that is up from 22, it's up from 21, it's up from 20, but it is actually still well below where we're at in 2019. I mean, you want to look back to an era when there was a lot of foreclosures happening. Look at 2009, 2010, 2.8 million foreclosures that year, and we're at 350,000. I mean, we're 2.5 million foreclosures behind where we were at a time when things weren't so good. And do we expect to see more foreclosures happen? Sure, they can happen without a doubt, but lending practices have changed, and the people that own homes today are in a far better financial position than they were when 2007, 2008 took place. So credit is a little bit more difficult to get nowadays. So the people that do own their homes, they're much more solid buyers than basically being able to fog a mirror is pretty much what you had to do in a previous market in order to purchase a home. So there's one more thing I want you to take a look at. This is an article from Lance Lambert talking about an interview with Nick Shaw and some of his predictions. Nick Shaw was one of the very few people in 2023 that actually predicted correctly that we would see home prices rise. So I want to dive into this article real quick just to show you at least one thing out of here that I thought was very, very interesting that is important for buyers to know. So the CEO is the most accurate home price forecaster for 2023, and here's what he expects in 24. So one of the things that I think is very, very interesting, barring a black swan event, we predict that the housing market in 2024 will appreciate more than 2023, and we project a 4 to 7% increase in the Case-Shiller Home Price Index in 2024. Case-Shiller is really the most accurate home pricing index that there is out there. Always very, very interesting to look at. Now this piece right here, falling mortgage rates will increase demand. Their AI projects a 5 million increase in home buyers for every 1% drop in interest rates. In contrast, there's less than 1.5 million homes listed for sale. Now, he is using active homes as well as those that have an accepted offer and are pending to close. Currently in the United States, we're actually less than 600,000 homes that are available that do not have an accepted offer. So if rates do come down this year, it's a big if, we will likely see 5 million home buyers come back to the market. And what is going to happen if those rates do drop and that many home buyers come back? Well, that's major competition, because sellers come after the buyers. Those sellers are going to see, hey, there's a lot of competition out there. Rates have come down. Yeah, I could take a 5.5%, 6% interest rate. Maybe I will put my home on the market because I have so much equity, but that comes after the demand from these buyers come about. So if you're a buyer in today's market, what do I suggest? Well, time is of the essence. If you want to get in before these 5 million home buyers do, I would get out there very soon. Now, you can wait just like the other 5 million home buyers. There's nothing wrong with that, but just be prepared for more competition. Expect that throughout the summer. Now, we just see seasonality here in Minnesota, so competition always does increase in the summers and it comes down in the winters. We are seeing a earlier than usual spring market right now, but there's still opportunities out there. I just got 2 different homes under contract for below the list price. Now, other homes are still selling at multiple offers. These were ones that were sitting on the market, and these buyers were okay with buying a home that needed a little bit more work. Again, for home buyers, you're always buying below the next peak. Home prices, they've been going up for a long, long time. And yes, there's some things that could happen. There could be another black swan type of an event, and we could see home prices go down. But the factors of low inventory, the high mortgage rates, a strong economy, there's a lot of reasons that it is unlikely to see home prices drop anytime in the near future. So, buy a home when you find the right home. Find the home that you love in a location that you love with a payment that makes sense for you. That's when you should pull the trigger. Don't feed into, I need to buy a home now because everybody else is, like what happened in 2021. Buy a home when it's the right home for you with a payment that can work for you. Now, for sellers, well, for 2024, I think sellers are going to have it pretty easy again. With all that low inventory and with a lot of buyers out there, it's pretty easy to just put your home on the market and get an accepted offer. But it is also very, very important to make sure that your home is completely ready. And that is what we're seeing right now, is many homes that are prepared and marketed properly are going into multiple offers. Those homes that are not prepared and are not great are sitting on the market. We are living in an HGTV type of a generation here, and people want those move-in ready homes, and they're willing to pay for them, and they're willing to compete for them. So sellers, if you are not buying another home and you are only selling, you're on easy street. Call us, we'll get it on the market. It's a difference of tens of thousands of dollars between the preparation and the non-prepared. If you are also buying, that's a bigger conversation, and it takes a little bit more finesse to make sure that everything works out properly for you, but we're happy to guide you through it. For sellers, it's going to be a good year. So that's my 2024 predictions. We're hopefully making a lot more video content this year. We slacked off at the end of last year. Things got busy, had to spend some time with my lovely wife and my wonderful son, but we will see a lot more of you in 2024.